Nico, and I met with a third grade teacher today, and she actually had me go in and meet with a first grade teacher, and I wanted to touch on this because I wanted to tell you the reason why. Third grade in Texas has become really advanced really quickly, and she was telling me that as far as a thematic unit per se, they don't have time at the beginning of the year to really incorporate those into their lessons. They're so fast paced. So she said that I would be better off going with a first grade or kindergarten type teacher who has the thematic units going on. So I met with a first grade teacher named Miss Davis, and we were discussing her units they just did the last 2 weeks was on American freedom, and it was interesting because they were talking about rules and freedoms and what incorporating into the lessons how the United States wanted their freedom and why. They went over the United States preamble and they went over the Constitution, and they would develop like class constitutions and talk about class rules and try to put it in the first grade child's eye and perspective while also incorporating a social studies type skill as well as language arts as well as reading, and it tied all into. And I took some pictures of where they put a big poster, like a really big the post-it note things that are the enlarged posters, and they had one that was called Our Class Constitution, and it had two rules on it. It was posted up. It said help each other to learn was number one. Number two was help each other to be safe. So it was two main things in the lesson, and they had read the United States Constitution and had shown it on the projector before they did this exercise. And then it was kind of neat to see because they wrote their two class rules or class constitutions, and then they had every child in the class in first grade go through and put their signature on it, and their signature kind of symbolized how the United States, the founders of our Constitution, the founding fathers, went in and put a signature. And so I took a picture of it, so hopefully you can see. If that way you can see it, and you can see how they have the signatures down at the bottom of the class constitution. She also has a book that she incorporated into the lesson, and it was a very large book that had a lot of pictures, really good pictures of like national monuments and things that make the United States, so great. And there's the cover of the book that they incorporated into this thematic unit. It was the Pledge of Allegiance, and they kind of touched on, she said, with this lesson in this book, some of the words and the vocabulary of the Pledge of Allegiance are pretty advanced and difficult for the first grade class. So they went over some of the meanings of that. I also went into another class, another first grade class, who was doing, the same thematic unit, and what she had was a chart that said "We the People," and it like mimicked everything and even had the old-fashioned script so they could kind of see how it was written. I don't know if I can get that one. There you go. Where you can kind of see it's really small. And that's what another classroom had done. And she had that chart like out where the kids could read it and see it because it is pretty small. And that was really, really neat. And then the last thing another classroom had done was did the same thing that the first class, Miss Davis's class did, and it was they had their class constitution, and they had it actually displayed up in the hallway so everybody could come in and see it. And each child in the class, first grade class, got to do some journaling and put one rule of what they think should be in the class constitution, which was really neat. Here's the display, so you can't see the words, that the children wrote, but you could see the display. And it said our class constitution, and it was neat because each kid got to participate and do like a writing exercise to try and put a class constitution in there. Anyways, that was my thematic unit, and it was based on social studies in the United States and freedom in America and everything. And thank you very much.